Yeah, and to be honest, I hope Kanye West don't see this.
Yeah.
Uh, the biggest tip that I can give is really the melody. If you have
Yeah.
something that David Guetta doesn't have, if you created a crazy new sound, if you have like a crazy style on your music, new drums, new different beats.
When imagination and creativity comes to life, they come with Altron. Welcome to another episode of Music Career Podcast. Today I'm interviewing Irfan Gusani, CEO and founder of Beyron Audio. Irfan has sound designed for many years and has been working with Beyron Audio for 4 years and has finally released the synth Altron. Welcome, Irfan.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I'm so glad that you're here. This is like the first episode with something else. I've been talking to producers, producers slash artists, but this is something really unique. So I'm really glad that you're here talking to me today.
Thanks.
So I'm just gonna jump right into the questions. I know you have a lot to do with your company and stuff. So I'm just gonna ask you about. Can you tell me like a short biography about yourself, like who you are, name, age, all of that stuff?
Yeah, so my name is Irfan Gusani. I'm 22 years old. Yeah, I'm from Finland, living here in Finland with my family, and yeah, basically.
Yeah. So when did the idea came into your head? Like I'm gonna start this company. I'm gonna do a synthesizer. Like where did that come from?
Well, to be honest, I never thought like being a CIO. I mean, like managing director of a company. For me, it was always like I wanted to be like David Guetta or Skrillex or these guys
Yeah.
playing on the big stages and so on. But yeah, the whole thing started like I think 5 or 6 years ago. I was in high school, and I didn't want my parents to buy all the books and other stuff for school. So I wanted to actually to make money by my own, to sell
Yeah.
something, to do something, and get the money, and buy the school for I mean buy the books for school.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean I got the idea because I had like many samples. I mean my own samples that I created and some other stuff. I mean NKA presets for contacts, and I had a lot of producer friends. So I
Yeah.
was like, okay, let me call them and check if they want the sounds that I'm using. And surprisingly, really the guys were like, yeah, of course, so what are you selling them
Yeah.
at first? 50 euros, then 100, then 150.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I had the money in 1 month actually.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I went ahead and bought the books, and then later I was like, okay, this was kind of a really nice kind of business thing that I did. So
Yeah.
what if I take all the sounds and all the samples that I have created by myself and
Yeah.
add them to one place? And of course, that
Yeah.
one place was Contact.
Yeah.
And then I did add them there, but there wasn't an interface. You couldn't do anything. It was just like a basic sample. So I was looking into coding for Contact, scripting, and
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, I don't think I'm going to do this. 1 year later, I started again looking into Contact,
Yeah.
and I was like, okay, maybe I should do it. I don't know.
Yeah.
I started using Photoshop, and I designed the synthesizer and everything. And then when the scripting came on, I was like, ah, man, fuck it. I can't do this.
Yeah.
Then, like the third year, I was like,
Yeah.
okay, now finally I have to do it, and
Yeah.
yeah, actually I started. I was looking into tutorials on YouTube, forums, like from trial and error from myself,
Yeah.
learning.
Mm.
And yeah, it took me a really, really, really long time, but I learned how to code, how to do
Yeah.
graphic design, and added the sound into Contact, and
Mm.
then of course my brothers helped me also, to create the synthesizer,
Yeah.
and yeah, I mean, then we just had people kind of being, hey man, can I test the synthesizer and so on, like producer friends.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, maybe I should really release this synthesizer, because it really had like amazing new features. I mean, at first it was like a normal synthesizer, but then we added the Altron FX and we added the smart sequencer, and
Yeah.
really it was I was like, okay man, I need to build a company, get people here,
Mm.
and really start this
Mm.
thing, because it's something that other synthesizers don't really have. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
of course, we are talking now virtually, because if you start to think like a 4,000 euro synthesizer, for example, Korg PA4X or Kronos,
Yeah.
they do have like similar things, but then again, on virtual synthesizer, I I think
No.
Altron is really the first one that has the smart sequencer.
So do you do has your company or you released some kind of trial yet for people to try the synth?
Actually, we are working on it, because we are partnering, of course, with Native Instruments,
Yeah.
and it's kind of we have to get the not the approval. I mean, approval, if I said it's like the wrong word, but let's say we have to collaborate together to get a
Yeah.
free trial for people.
Yeah. Mm. Yeah.
So right now they are really busy. It
Of course.
maybe go on January,
Mm.
to
Yeah.
really get a version for people to try, and just have some fun,
Yeah.
because I really understand this thing, and it's normal. Nobody wants to buy something just by watching some videos and other stuff. You have you have to have the possibility to test it, to really check it
Mm.
out, and decide if you like it. Okay, go ahead, you can buy it. But if you don't,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Uh,
but we will have it hopefully really soon.
yeah. Cool. So have you ever thought like about making like have you ever thought about making like you know, you buy it today, if you're not happy in 2 weeks you can return the the synth. I don't know how that works in
Yeah,
when it's a
I mean,
virtual synth,
yeah.
but maybe it will get hacked and stuff, but I don't know. How does that work? How does the business world work when it's something virtual, like it's like a game or it's a synthesizer?
Well, for us at least, I can say this from my perspective. For
Mm?
example, it's to be honest, it's much easier than really having like a physical product and so on.
Yeah.
For us, for example, let's think of the process now. If you buy the synthesizer, you just go into our page, you buy it. Everything
Yeah.
basically happens automatically, you know.
Mm.
So that's the good thing. We don't have to go to the post and send the DVDs and all this stuff. So
No.
that's the thing. So when it's virtually, it's I mean everything is much easier, of course. But then
Yeah.
again, there is always the possibility that people are going to crack it and
Yeah. Yeah.
stuff. But I mean, that's okay. To be honest, I have always said it. I mean, for people who don't have the money to buy the synthesizer, go ahead, crack it,
Yeah.
download it for free, do whatever you want.
Yeah. Yeah.
But for people who are making money of it, I mean downloading cracked softwares and
Yeah.
making really money on it. I don't mean like 20 euros or 30, but like thousands of euros. I
Yeah.
said
Yeah.
middle fingers to them, really, because
Yeah.
it's not
Yeah.
fair. We are also people, man. We have to bring food on our table and so on. So it's not like,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm going to crack it from here and that's it. But
No.
people that don't have money really wants to get into music and so on, go ahead.
Yeah.
Really,
Yeah.
it's fine.
Yeah, because the thing with a lot of synthesizers, I've actually myself tried cracked once because I didn't have the money. But then like if something is really good,
Mhm.
then after a while I'll buy it anyway because you want to buy it because you think it's so good, so you want to buy it.
You also kind of not kind of, but you really support the company. You give them
Yeah.
motivation to keep going, to keep improving, and
Mm.
so yeah, it's as I said, for people who don't have the money, it's fine, but making money,
Yeah.
the big money, and using crap plugins is like fucked up, really.
Yeah, yeah, really, really. Tell me about, tell me a bit, tell me something more about Altron, and who are you working with right now in your company? How many people are you?
We are actually not so many. We are like, I think, to be honest, like 15
Yeah,
right now.
yeah,
Like we got people who codes, we got people who are testing our synthesizer, and they come back to us like, yeah, this is wrong, you need to change this and this kind of stuff. And
mm,
we have actually my brother, he's a
yeah.
3D engineer. He if we ever want to do like a 3D model of Altron, we have the
Oh yeah,
possibility. And yeah, basically we really have a small team, but really,
mm,
everyone is really amazing. They are great at their
yeah,
own job. What they are doing, and
yeah,
it's really fun and it's really great. You know, but for now, yeah, 15 people, and everybody, like, has their own task on
yeah,
doing, for example, sound design,
yeah.
coding, graphic design, and all this other stuff. So yeah.
Mm. So you talked a bit about like when you were younger, you thought that you were gonna be like some big artist instead of
Yeah.
running a company.
Yeah.
So tell me a bit more about that. Like when did you start making music? Like how old were you then?
Oh man, I mean, well, my father comes from a
Yeah,
band back then in Croatia, and also my mother is a musician, so they're both
yeah.
musicians. And
It's in the blood. Yeah,
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 it uh, hit me hard, let's say, because
yeah,
when I was actually 3 years old, I remember like kind of, I was like, so it was somebody's wedding, and I
mm,
started crying because my father didn't let me to sing. Of course, they
yeah,
paid the band to come and to play, and then I was
yeah.
starting to cry because my father didn't lend me the microphone to sing.
All right.
That's the thing that I remember. But yeah, I mean, I was like really 3 years old when I started singing, because I'm a singer, then a producer, and like really in the back, like space,
Mm,
like this much space, and then like CAO from the company.
yeah, yeah,
So yeah, actually, I started when I was 3, and I remember when I was 6, I did my first really big gig,
mm,
and got like a lot of money, and was really happy. So yeah,
yeah,
actually, at a really young age, I started to make music, but
mm,
producing music on computers, of course.
yeah,
I started in 2006. I think I was like
yeah,
maybe 9 years old,
yeah.
something like that. Yeah. But of course, it was like many years really just trying to do something, and really crappy melodies and others.
Yeah.
But it's really true, people say like the more you have experience, the better you really get, and in everything actually. So
Yeah.
then it became just like I had to do it, because if I didn't, I started feeling bad, really shaking sometimes. My fingers started to shake, and yeah. So right now it's actually every day. I mean, I have to play. I have to do something, with music.
Yeah, about that, because you're working, like you have this job. You're the CEO and founder of Beyron Audio, but how much time do you have like each day to make music or play music?
Oh, really? To be honest, well, now I have time, not too much, but for example, let's say maybe 2 3 hours, like to
Yeah.
kind of have fun. Let's say, create my
Yeah.
own music, some lyrics, and mix and mastering on this stuff. But like let's say before we had these people, for example, the guys that we have now in Beyron Audio, it was
Yeah.
like full time. And I remember like 2 years I didn't create any music. I didn't sing at all. No gigs, no, like nothing, only
Yeah.
coding. It was really crazy. And of course, when we did said, I mean, when I sent the product to Native Instruments, they were like, "Yeah, it's a good thing, but synth, but there is too many bugs.
Yeah.
You have to correct them." And it was
Mm.
crazy. I mean, then like 1 year of correcting mistakes and trying to find all the
Solutions. Yeah.
bugs. And yeah, of course.
No. Mm.
So yeah, but
But
I do, for now I do have time, having
mm.
fun and creating my own music, because really, um, to be honest, Altron, because I think today, when people create the synthesizer, for example, Native Instruments, Massive, or like I don't know, like these other plugins, they get created from maybe some coder who is not a producer, okay, maybe he knows something from music, of course, if he codes
Yeah.
synthesizers, but he's not a producer. Then you get the guys who are designing the GUI, the
Yeah.
user
Yeah.
interface, and you have equalizer here, you have this here, and it's, the
Yeah.
people who create the synthesizer usually really aren't producers, like music producers, and people who are like, holy crap, man, have you listened to David Guetta's new song, or Avicii's, may he rest in peace, or these other guys, like to listen to the sounds, like what is the new thing, what is like trending now, and
Mm.
get that into synthesizers, really.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
where we come from. We have a lot of producers here. Actually, from these 15 guys, I think like 7 or 8 are producers.
Yeah.
So it's really great, because we created the synthesizer from a producer's and artist point of view, really.
Yeah.
So it's actually, that's why we actually have, I mean,
Yeah.
it's always like if in each day it's like 100 to 200 comments, like, "Oh my gosh, I love the sounds of Altron, man.
Yeah.
They're like so new, trending, and stuff like that." And it's really because of we listen to some songs and we are like, "Okay, that's a nice sound. That's a nice sound. Let's try to recreate it in
Yeah.
Altron." And even actually, to be honest, we did um, create new sounds to be like one step ahead, always from
Yeah.
the trend,
Mm.
because
Mm.
if we just now go like, for example, how you say it in English, yeah, if we just now copy other people's producers stuff and put it into to Altron, that's not like, it's stupid. I mean, you know what I mean?
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
So there is like let's say from, because Altron has like 1,000 sounds, over 1,000 sounds, like maybe 100 sounds are designed like from inspiration of other people music and so on, but the rest are like our like weird combination. For example, Indian sitar with like an EDM crazy flute, you know,
All right.
combining different sounds and really,
Yeah.
well, sometimes it's like, oh man, yeah, this is garbage. Yeah, we won't use that. But then sometimes it's really like, holy crap, man, this is something totally new, you know? So, yeah.
So, what kind of, like, there's those who listen to this, like, what kind of sound design tips? You sound design a lot in your company. So what kind of sound design tips can you give to people? How to become a better sound designer?
To be honest, the first thing that I'm going to say, it's get crazy, because there is no rules in sound design. Really, there is no rules. And you know, people say like, I've heard people say like, yeah, it's good to have like 2 or 3 sounds layered up and that's it. We had like really like 128 sounds in one sound
Yeah.
that actually is now in Altron, and you know, it's there. I
Yeah.
don't remember what was the sound, but 128 different sounds stack on each other,
Yeah.
and you know, adding effects and so on. So when you play it, it's really huge. But it's huge and it's kind of soft, but
Yeah.
it sounds amazing. So what I'm trying to say is really go crazy. You know, you can add saxophones with guitars and then distort the whole thing. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
crazy with the layering sounds and adding effects to them.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah. So
basically the really what we did with Ultron.
yeah. Yeah. So how much? Because what I feel like when I'm using I use Serum a lot. So what I'm trying to think about is like, first I'm trying to, if I'm just making like a synth, I'm trying to first like what kind of sound wave do I want.
Mm-hmm.
So first I go like what kind of sound wave do I want, and then after I've chosen my sound wave, I go to the environment to, you know, fix the environment.
Yeah.
If I want to pluck, if I want this like yeah, whatever, like,
Yeah.
so I go to the environment, and then I mostly use the EQ, like fade out some sharp noises and stuff, like, because I feel like just designing a synth sound, those 3 steps, just like if you do the sound wave, then the environment, and just adding a filter on it, like just that, just that, you can make so many sounds, like, and that's only 3 things.
Yeah, that's really true. Yeah, that's yeah, I remember I also used to do that. Well, to be honest, the funny thing is that for example, Ultron's sounds, they really come from, well, you know, I'm I'm a hardware fan. For example, Korg Kronos, Nord, Korg Oasis, all these like crazy big synthesizers. So that's where our sounds are coming from for Altron. But I remember I was also using actually Serum back in the days, and yeah, I mean, really, and also Silence. I mean, I really, you know, Silent was like one of my best synths. So sometimes really, you know, the simplest sounds are making it to the, you know, crazy big radios. And amazing example is right now, you know, from J Balvin, the song X.
Yeah.
And have you heard right now? I mean, I think it's David Guetta and it's Dimitri Vegas, like Mike, the song Instagram.
Oh yeah.
Exactly the same sound.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Yeah.
it's actually a normal sub with a
Yeah.
nice attack and some other things added, which is really simple, but it sounds amazing. So you know,
Yeah.
it's not always like it really depends on what you want to do. You know, If you want to go for like big sounds and something different and so on, so yeah, do the things that I said before. But if you really want to have some simple plugs or simple stuff, for example, for tropical songs or something summer-ish or something like that, go with the most simple things that you can do, you know. But simple, but they have to sound interesting and soft and beautiful in their own way. Not like, you know, you just have like a sub or a square sound, I mean wave sound, and you just, you know, trim it off and there it is, you know, because that's something that everybody can do.
Yeah, of course.
The thing is really from sound design, you need to be unique. I mean, as a producer, I'm not maybe thinking this as a sound engineer, because many producers are now, you know, creating their own sounds. So from that perspective, you kind of really have to be unique and different from other people, so you might get, you know, recognized.
That's really good advice. I'm gonna jump into this. I've just created this small session of the pod, and it's called the quick questions. So I'm just gonna give you a few. You're gonna get like 2 names or 2 things, and you have to choose one of them.
Okay.
And just choose from your heart, and we can discuss them later on. But just right now, you just choose. So I'm just gonna give you the first one is Ed Sheeran or Avicii.
Oh man. Well, to be honest, because I'm myself, let's say a DJ, so I have to choose Avicii, of course.
Avicii, okay. Jay-Z or Kanye West?
Probably Jay-Z.
Yeah,
probably him.
Here's a tricky one. Serum or Altron?
Man. Yeah, okay. Well, in this case, I must say, really, I swear to God, it's not because it's like Altron is mine, but because the smart sequencer and the ability to break the creativity blocker, really, it's amazing. So in this case, I really love Serum. It's one of my best synthesizers ever, but I have to choose Altron just because of the smart sequencer.
Organ or a saw synth? So organ, like organ or saw synth? So the instrument organ or a saw synth?
Well, to be honest, I don't know. I'm feeling right now maybe organ, but it depends on what songs. But right now, organ.
Okay. Distortion or saturation?
Distortion.
Okay. Let's talk about Ed Sheeran or Avicii, and you chose Avicii. And you said it because you're a DJ. So do you DJ a lot today?
Yeah, to be honest, I mean, I'm always like into clubs really at nights, but nowadays it's more like a special guest. You know, I go there, you know, play like 45 minutes, get some money, really not too much money. It's like maybe 100, 200 euros, like small things, you know. So that's why, but I'm playing in a lot of clubs here in Finland.
Yeah. It feels like you're all over the place. You're a CEO, founder of a company. You're a DJ at night.
Many people say that actually, but it's true.
Yeah, it's really inspirational. So Jay-Z or Kanye West? You said Jay-Z.
Yeah, and to be honest, I hope Kanye West don't see this. I mean, you know, really, there is no hate. You know, everybody has like their own attitude, and seriously, I have respect to everybody. I don't care if you have money or if you are poor. Like if you're good to me, I'll be good to you. That's like my thing. But from Kanye, actually, recently, I have just heard too many things like like Kenny is the greatest, Kenny is the thing, and this other stuff.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm like, yeah, he has good music, but it's kind of too much. I think it's really like I don't know.
Yeah.
People that think too much of them from their
Of
self.
them, yeah.
I
Yeah.
hate that, really. Like
Yeah.
you are not better than anybody else. Actually, you're just different.
No.
So don't. It's not good to look down on anybody, really.
No, of course.
So I,
Of
I
course.
I don't know. I may be wrong. If I was to talk directly to Kanye West, maybe he would be like really different guy, because media
Yeah.
is fucking everything up. Really.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But for me, at least, that's the thing that I've got from Kenny. So that's why.
Yeah. And Serum and all, you said your point there, but
Yeah.
the organ or saw synth, that was more like, it's more because of what vibe you're feeling at, like. Yeah.
Yeah. To
Yeah.
be honest,
Yeah.
yeah. Because, for example, if I'm creating like a EDM songs for a club, then of course it will be like sa. But
Yeah.
then again, if I want to create like a radio hit or something that you can sing on, then it's organ.
Yeah. And distortion or saturation? You chose distortion.
Yeah, because I love to use distortion, as I said before, in sounds sometimes, because it really gives the fatness and like, for example, if you just have a normal saw sound and it
Yeah.
sounds okay, but if you add distortion, it kind of I don't know, but for me it really makes it more tight, gives it like more energy, and it's like fatter, if you can say like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I really get you.
Yeah.
So that was the quick questions. So now I'm jumping into the big questions again, and I'm just gonna ask you: do you have any tips for people out there making music? Like, what do you see, and you? Because I mean, you work and talk with a lot of producers. So what kind of, what's the best tips for producers out there trying to make music nowadays?
Do you mean like being successful and getting their names on radio, or just making good music?
Let's start with making good music.
Making good music. Well, for me, the biggest tip that I can give is really the melody. Many people are saying the words and other stuff, but have you heard recently, for example, hip hop or something else? We are talking about drugs and bitches and all this kind of stuff. So basically, in my opinion, yeah, it's definitely not the words, lyrics from this.
No.
It's the melody, because the melody is the first thing when you listen to a song that really gives you a vibe, gives you like, holy crap, man, I like this song. And then the second thing, in my opinion, is the drums, man. If the beat is crazy, you get that nice 808, you get that nice kind of combination with the 808 and the drums. It's like, in my opinion, it's really like, wow. If you get these two things right, you have a nice song already. But then again, okay, the lyrics, they are important as well, but in my opinion, it comes first: melody, drums, lyrics, and of course, now producing a song. These are like the main things that you really need to make. Let's say that you really have to make sound good. And if you, for example, if you do all this and you've done it successfully, well, then comes the mastering and mixing stuff. So basically, if you get the mixing part done, if it's not correctly done, it doesn't matter really how good song you have in your hands. But if it doesn't sound good, people are just going to skip it.
Yeah.
So it's melody, drums, lyrics. But I won't say it's the fourth thing is like a quality, but quality comes like on up all of that, all of the three.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I know, I
So,
know.
so
So
yeah.
so what if a producer feels like he got his skills, he's doing the melodies, he's doing, you know, the drums, he's the whole song is good, but he's just not really pushing it out there. He's not getting the views or the listens that he wants. So like, how to become famous? What would be your tip there?
Well, there is actually two things. The first one, the most easiest to be honest, man, because I've tried to get my music out there for years and nothing happened. As soon as I had people inside Universal Studios and Sony, Warner, and all this other stuff. So as soon as you have contacts, you will really see it's becoming much easier. So the best thing that you can do, I don't know how you can get them, but to have contacts with people,
Yeah.
with artists, with producers, because that producer might have a friend that is a bigger producer. Then you go to him and talk with him. Maybe he will have some manager. Then the manager maybe will have somebody inside the Universal Studios, and there you go. You have a deal signed with Universal Studios. So
Yeah.
really it's about the contacts, and
Yeah.
one way to get contacts, don't be dick and hate
Yeah. Yeah.
music and put like shitty commentars and other stuff. Man, if you don't like somebody's music, you don't have to like everything, but hell man, give them the respect on
Yeah.
creating something, putting the hours in the studio, really. So that's the thing. Like if you want to get contacts, don't hate on anybody. Be nice to everyone, and really, just like try to collaborate as much as you can, because someday I promise there will be somebody who is going to push you to for example Universal or a major label, and you will get your name and signed on the papers and everything. So that's the
Yeah. So what we're talking about is actually just networking, talking with people, being friendly.
exactly
That's what we're talking about.
exactly. And if you have the possibility, man, people are nowadays getting crazy on YouTube. So go ahead, when you create your songs, go buy some GoPro, or even if you have your phone, put the camera somewhere and to record the whole process. You don't have to be like professional, or I don't know. Just add your stuff on YouTube, and of course you will get some critique, and maybe people will like or hate or whatever. But it's you could, I mean, you can make it even without a label nowadays, to be
Yeah.
honest. You don't need like a major label or anything, because
Yeah.
actually, just I want to say also this. I've saw recently the interview with Post Malone because of its new album. um, I mean, it was really crazy. The guy like didn't had like connections and this stuff, but he created White Eversons, something like that was the song called. He added to SoundCloud, and he went to sleep. The next day when he
Yeah.
woke up, it was crazy. I mean, Wiz Khalifa and these other guys like tagging him in a post and everybody. So it can go either way. Maybe
Yeah.
you will have to work a really long way, or you do something and it's there.
Yeah. Just don't give up.
Of course,
Yeah.
that's the main thing. And because I said like it will be two things. Now the second thing, and this is really important, if you're creating music and you're trying to be the next Skrillex, Swedish House Mafia, I don't know, man, the next Kygo, like, don't do that, really. Because let me ask you a question. Really, you can answer me on this one.
Yeah.
Let's say
Yeah.
you have two beautiful jackets, for example, beautiful like mine.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's say you have two jackets. One is,
Yeah.
I mean, they both are black. The color is black. and one has like Armani or I don't know, man, Louis Vuitton or something like really
Yeah.
expensive, and it's like it's let's say 5,000 euros, 5,000 bucks, and the other is exactly the same, but it's not Louis Vuitton. It's 50 euros.
Yeah.
So in these two, which are you going to buy?
If I'm gonna buy it.
Yeah, if you are
I'm
going to if you wanted to buy the thing, the
Yeah.
one of the
Yeah.
tickets, which would you buy?
Oh, I think you're asking the wrong person, because I'm gonna buy the cheap one because I want to
No,
buy music stuff.
that's the right answer.
Yeah.
You're going
Okay.
to buy
Yeah.
the cheap one. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
that's the thing. So me too. So what I want to actually say with this is, for example, now you are going to buy the cheap one. I'm going to buy the cheap one. Other people, to be honest, like 80% that I asked this question did say Louis Vuitton. And it was just because, of the price, and people can see, what they're buying. So this means this. For example, take me now. I'm not a famous producer. I'm like, nobody. So me and let's say, well, again, maybe David Guetta, okay? Me and David
Yeah.
Guetta.
Yeah.
David Guetta is creating its own style, but I'm copying David Guetta. I'm doing exactly what David Guetta is does. All the beats, all maybe not the same melodies, but if people were to hear my music, they would be, "Holy crap! Is this David Guetta?" You know.
Yeah.
So the thing is, people are not going to listen to your music because of that, because they have somebody who is famous, somebody who has
Yeah.
money, who is crazy, all over the
Yeah.
place. They are going to listen to David Guetta, not to you, because you are nobody. And then again, if we go back to the jacket things, if there was, like, for example, the Louis Vuitton, whatever, and there was the same jacket, but this time really like crazy modern, new stuff, like I don't know, something here different, something here beautiful. I'm 100% sure, and all the people that I've asked this question said, "Yeah, man, fuck the Louis Vuitton. I would choose this one because this looks better." What this means? It means your own style. If you have something that David Guetta doesn't have, if you created a crazy new sounds, if you have like a crazy style on your music, new drums, new different beats that other producers don't have, you're going to make it 100%. So the thing is, be different. But many people are doing really shitty productions, and like, "Oh yeah, what the fuck do you want, man? I'm like doing this, but I'm different. At least I'm not using what everybody else is using." Nobody cares if you are different, but if it sounds like garbage.
No, of course.
If you are different, do something to be even better than what's on the radio right now.
Yeah.
So the biggest thing is, don't compare your music with, for example, with David Guetta, or even copying these other big guys, or copying what's now on the radio.
No.
Do your sound, do your stuff, because I mean, Skrillex is the best example. Like dubstep, it was even before, but it was nothing. As soon as Skrillex came into the game, it really changed everything.
Yeah.
I mean, on EDM scenes and electronic music, because he had that crazy different snare and that 808 and vocal chops. At least for me, I haven't heard it before, and the first time I actually heard it was when Skrillex came.
Yeah.
So if you do something different than other people, you will succeed, really.
Yeah, because I see a lot of, I don't know if you hang on Instagram a lot.
I do.
But I see a lot of producers, and a lot of producers are, I don't say it's wrong, but they're doing a lot of type beats. So they make like, oh, this is a type beat. Like it sounds like this beat, but it's my beat. Like, do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
They do, like, so.
yeah, I understand. Yeah,
Of course, it's good to copy others, to know how everything works, and it's
exactly.
always good
Exactly.
to make
Let's say
make.
it's good to copy others for practice. Really, it's that's because that's what I did for
Mm,
practice. But then again, if you want to be huge and make it outside of your bedroom studio, you know what I mean? That's the thing when you really have your own style, your own, like,
yeah,
something that nobody else actually has done before, or haven't considered and doing, or
yeah,
this stuff. So yeah, actually these are the main two things that really is pushing people even now, different rappers and all this other stuff. Actually,
yeah.
I wanted to ask you also this: have you noticed, for example, the rappers right now, why they are going so huge? Almost all of them.
Yeah, no,
In my opinion, rapping isn't like before. For example, like Eminem used to do it, or like other guys. It became melody rapping. People are rapping
yeah,
on the melody. It sounds like singing, but holy crap, man, he's rapping. And that's why
yeah,
it's really so. I mean, of course, hip hop and rap was always popular, but right now
mm,
it really is. It's crazy, you know.
yeah. It's another melody structure. Before it was like you could have, before, like in some rap music,
Yeah,
it could be like one chord in the whole song. It
yeah,
was like one chord, and they just keep dropping the bass and just keep spitting bars.
yeah. So it's
But now it's,
really drastically like, and
yeah,
that then proving the point that I said before. Different
yeah,
different things and different stuff really always like push people and getting famous and other stuff, because music, to be honest, doesn't have any rules. It's always like, it's always changing, it's always getting better and different, and so yeah, even if you did today the number one song on Spotify and everybody are crazy about it, there will be
yeah,
tomorrow a little guy or maybe an old producer or anybody who is going to
mm,
crash that record and make even better.
yeah. So yeah, that's really grateful advice. And uh, I just want to ask you, like, what's the biggest failure, or what would you call, like, what's the biggest mistakes or biggest failure that you feel like, or not failure, but like what's the biggest struggle you feel right now in your music career and in your company? Like, what's your biggest struggle at the moment?
Oh, to be honest, wow, it's a nice question. I have to think. Maybe, because it's not like we don't have like a struggle, but maybe for me alone, not having enough time to
Yeah,
put in my music actually, but then again, when I'm doing stuff for Beyron audio, it really feels the same. But to be honest, right now, like it, at least for me, there is really no struggle. And as for mistakes, what it goes, I mean, I have like a nice mindset. Like everything I do is fine, good stuff,
yeah,
mistakes, and everything. Because I think really the best thing that you can do is mistake, because you will learn
yeah,
from it, and you will correct it, you will know what to do the next time. Because really
mm,
everything was good in our life, we would be like really, how you call them in English, like the guys, like when your parents are really rich and you get everything
yeah,
what you want, you become this like you don't have respect to other people. You always, when you need money or something, you go to your parents and this kind of stuff. So if you really create mistakes in your life and do something, for example, just a simple example, when I was young, I wanted to buy software. I think it was Cubase. It was
Yeah.
Cubase 6 or 5. I'm not sure. I think it was 6.
Mm.
So I did buy the plugin, the software, and then really like my father and mother were like, okay, if you did buy it, so yeah, there is no video games, there is like nothing, because you didn't kind of put the money into something. For example, to buy food or something for the whole family, you kind of did it just only for yourself. And I then of course I learned, like, the next time when I got the money from actually playing at some disco, but it was like for school stuff.
Mm.
I did what my parents told me to do. I actually, I don't remember if I gave them the money or bought food or something, but I didn't use it, on me. So what I'm trying to say with this is, like, if you do mistake, you will really become a better person, and how you say it?
You will grow.
Yeah, of course. Thank you. You will grow, and you will really appreciate others, and you will appreciate yourself much more. You will appreciate your sweat. To be honest, that you work so hard, and the sweat falls. You will start to appreciate it. It won't feel like, oh man, $1,000. Yeah, I can spend it on alcohol and going out with friends and club. I will still get the next month, but yeah. So you know what I mean.
Yeah, I get you. So what's the big goal now? Like the last 3 months here, this year. Like, what's the big goal for 2019 with Beyron Audio?
Well, to be honest, it's pushing the whole Beyron Audio name out of these walls, which means, getting our product out there, having interviews like this. Thank you so much, really, for taking this.
Yeah.
Just really getting our name out there, and so people could really know what power is inside of Altron and what you can do with it. And I don't know, people are saying, yeah, it's a game changer. So I really hope it is a game changer, and people just will realize it. So that's, for us at least, that's like the biggest goal, getting our name out there. It's because we are a new company, and it's always, like, when somebody new comes, you are like, I'm not sure if I should buy, or maybe I will go just with, I don't know, Omnisphere or something else, So,
yeah. Well, the first thing that everyone looks like, when I didn't know what synth to buy, so what you do is you Google or you go on YouTube, like, what synth like should I buy, and they show like the 5 best that they think. Like, these 5 are the best, like, in my opinion. And then you listen to like 5-6 videos, and like, if one name gets dropped like in 4 of 6 videos, then you feel like, yeah, that must be the one that, like,
exactly.
Yeah. So
that's true. Yeah, maybe that's what we should also do. But actually, to be honest, no, it will come with people, really. When people really
because I mean,
see, what's good and what's bad. Maybe Altron will be on the list. You don't know.
yeah, I have no further questions, but I'm really, really glad that you were on the show, and I hope that Kanye West doesn't call you and is angry with you.
Yeah, hopefully.
But yeah, thank you so much for being here. It was really, I'm really grateful that you guys showed up and talked about Ultron. Really, really good stuff.
Thank you so much. Really, it's an honor being here. It's really great seeing, young people like me and you, getting into this kind of stuff, like software production, like podcast and all these other things. It's kind of fun and nice to see how the new generation is kind of starting, to grow up, and professional things. Yeah, thank you so much. Really, it was really fun.